And we're back with Unforgettable Conversations, Season 4.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. Today I have my beautiful wife, Kez, here with me as our special guest. And everybody, you guys you have to check out her podcast and her Instagram that just went up, Relate to You.
Check out our new Instagram. We are now on Spotify and on YouTube, obviously. We just changed our name and we are sporting this new name. So hopefully we should be easier to find on YouTube and Spotify. So yeah, we will link it in the description if that's okay.
It'll be in the description and it's at Relate to You, right?
Yes.
All right. And then same thing on Instagram?
Yes.
So go over there, subscribe to her. If not, go check out Spotify and follow her on Instagram. All right, well, today we're going to be doing some icebreakers, and I'll give you the honors of starting us off.
Wow, guys. This says, what is your favorite movie genre? Which you do like a lot of movies.
I do enjoy different movies, but go for it. You can answer it first.
I feel like it's lame, but it's the truth. I can do a rom-com any day, honestly. I don't enjoy horror. I don't enjoy... I guess it depends on the kind of action movie that it is. If there's a lot of humor into it, I think I enjoy it.
Like an action comedy, she'll probably go for, but action in itself, not so much.
What was that movie where they live across spies?
Oh.
And in the end,
with what's his name? Zach Galifianakis. That's his name, right? His actual name?
I don't remember the actor. The girl is supposedly, she's memorable. I don't remember, but I can't remember her. I just know that they blow up the house.
Oh no, Keeping Up with the Joneses.
Keeping Up with the Joneses.
I think that's the name of the movie. Because remember, the Joneses moved in, they're spies, and then they start trying to investigate who they really are, and then they start getting into all the.
But I forget who the couple is because they're
it's what's her name? She's got a weird name, something with a G, I think.
With a G.
Yeah, she's
It's not Angelina Jolie.
She's Wonder Woman.
Oh, Gal Gadot. You're right. You're okay. Yes. Yeah. That's the movie. So
Gal Gadot, and then the other guy is. He comes out in Bridesmaids. He comes out in, I forgot, I don't know his actual name.
Comes out in Bridesmaids.
Yeah. He's the kind of rich boy toy in the main character, Bridesmaids.
It's John Hamm.
John Hamm.
That's who it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sped up. Anyways, that's an example of an action movie that I enjoy that is, I think, funny. But strictly action... Not really. Horror.
Kind of like
really.
Game Night. Game Night's another good one.
I love Game Night.
It's funny.
Yes.
It's action-y.
Tag isn't really action-y, but that's
also another one that's
movie.
pretty good.
But suspenseful, same thing. Don't really enjoy it. So I would say rom-com or just a comedy movie. Any Adam Sandler movie, I'm a sucker for. I enjoy his movies. Or
even his old stuff. Happy Gilmore.
Is it Kevin James? I love Kevin James.
Here Comes the Boom. Even King and Queens, the show.
I love him.
Good. Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I think I love everything. I've seen horror. I've seen sci-fi. I love sci-fi. I like horror. I'm really getting into documentaries right now. I'm trying to think what
you could be watching
war movies, nature movies,
wolves, bears,
wolves. What I really insects. What I really like is the documentaries about killer orcas. That's one of my favorite animals.
Yeah.
If that's another question, there you go.
But if you had to pick
whales.
A genre that you could only watch for the rest of your life, and it's gonna meet all your main points, what would it be?
I'd probably say sci-fi because in a weird way.
Really?
Okay, this is the weird thing. I didn't know this, but some people probably do know this, but not a lot of people know this, that a lot of the Marvel movies fall into sci-fi because it's science fiction. No, they actually do fall into that category. So Spider-Man, Iron Man, anything that has to do with, I think, like science fiction, it technically falls under it. So like if you go into like categories and you go sci-fi, you'll see like what's the top movies. Boom, it'll show a lot of Marvel movies because they're all technically like Guardians of the Galaxy. That's technically a sci-fi movie.
I feel like sci-fi is like Brave New World or like something
Star Trek,
like,
Star Wars.
Nah, kind of. Yes, I feel like those maybe because they're just so big. I feel like sci-fi has it's almost like its own like own genre that's like underground, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, a lot of people know the Sci-Fi Channel, and if you look at it,
Like
a lot of the
Roswell
movie,
to me was
Roswell,
sci-fi.
A lot of like alien movies, but then that's what I'm saying. Like technically, anything with like Guardians of the Galaxy is alien stuff too.
Yeah,
So that's where it's like it's kind of weird because that would be like its
I guess
own action
if it
category.
was just like Guardians of the Galaxy or something along the lines, which even that is a stretch. But I feel like because I've only associated Marvel with like superhero films.
Right. It should be like its own category.
Yeah.
Like superhero films. But I'd probably say sci-fi because there's a lot of other movies that fall into that category that I enjoy. Like a lot of the alien movies, they fall under sci-fi. Predator, all of those movies fall under sci-fi.
That's right. That's right.
I think even surprisingly, Terminator falls under science fiction. Yeah. And that's like an entire series on its own.
Do you like it because it's a world that is not something we see every day, and so you like the imagination and the creativity that the directors do to make this film?
Well, I think I've liked how a lot of like newer movies or certain movies have their distinctive like the film crew, the director, everybody did it like so perfectly. Like they were doing everything in their role so perfectly, and then that's what made it like a distinguishable movie. But I also think that when it comes down to like the bare like minimal stuff, what I really enjoy, if it's like you take high definition movies and like everything else out the door, it's like The Last Stand.
The Last Stand.
The Last Stand. So a lot of war movies, they'll have like a last stand before like the end of the movie. 300, another favorite movie of mine, they have a last stand before the end of the movie where they all die, but there's a last stand. And a lot of these movies, there's kind of like, this is a lot of zombie movies that are like, they have that last stand before the end of the movie.
What
where
does
it's
that
like,
mean?
It's hard to describe because like
do you mean like there's a movie before the end?
No, there's like a moment in a movie that if it's filmed correctly, it's like the hero is getting overwhelmed by the enemy, that there's just the last stand, so they're holding firm. They're like the underdogs.
And then at the last moment, they just
win.
defeat
Or
everyone.
they defeat someone.
Oh, okay. Oh, 300 is
or 300,
Sparta.
but there's also it was 300 of them versus like thousands of them. But towards the end, they died.
I see.
So there's still a possibility.
How are they gonna get out of this?
How are they going to, or how are they not going to get out of this?
Oh,
so there's that last stand where it's like, yes.
I think for me, because of how I enjoy happy endings. I enjoy the feel-good type movies. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I think that would be the genre I would be okay. Romantic comedies.
A lot of Hallmark movies.
No, actually, no. I watch
a happy ending.
I watch some Hallmark movies, but Hallmark movies, okay. I feel like someone who doesn't like rom-coms is going to be like, they're all predictable. But for me, it's like,
I feel like I could write Hallmark movies.
Some of my favorite rom-coms that I could watch all the time, for example, is like The Proposal.
Okay, that's good.
I mean,
with Sandra Bullock and
with
what's his name?
Ryan Reynolds.
I
love that rom-com. Why am I blanking on every rom-com ever?
I get what you mean, though.
You get what I'm saying.
There is some movies that like they're really good, and I think it's like there's categories to it where it's like this is the top tier rom-coms. Then there's like the Hallmarks of the world.
Yes.
Where it's like low budget, very basic story, repetitive, easy to predict.
Yes.
Type of movies.
I mean, in The Proposal, it's predictable that they're going to end up together. That's what's predictable. But the way that they're going to end up together is not. And I feel like in a Hallmark, she's leaving the big city to go to the small town to end up with her old town boyfriend or the old town guy. And then something happens and she finds the meaning of Christmas and they stay together. So that's very specific. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what I would say.
You know what movie I've like disliked since like day one?
That's a rom-com?
That's technically it's a rom-com, but not really a rom-com. With what's his name? Vince Vaughn?
Don't say Four Christmases.
No, The Breakup.
Oh, with Jennifer Aniston. Yeah.
Because it's so like, it tells you what it is. It's a breakup.
Yeah.
But the way that they end the movie is not like any rom-com. They like literally, they like lead it up to like, oh, towards the end of I'm going to burn it out because I don't want anybody else to see it because it's a horrible movie. The end is them breaking up and running into each other in the middle of the street like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's going good. All right, well, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
And that's how ending credits. And it's like, really?
Well, it's called a breakup.
Yeah, but you're expecting them to break up and then like come back together and married or something, right, or have kids.
No, I don't know. That was a sad movie. Yeah. It was.
All right. Next icebreaker. What is the strangest thing you've ever eaten? Ooh.
It's got to be between caviar and rattlesnake. I would say caviar just because rattlesnake, I don't think I really took enough of it for me to really like remember what it tastes like and for it to have some kind of impact on me. Like I'm eating a snake right now. But plus it was all that I remember, it was very dry and it was like.
Tastes like chicken.
Chewy to me. Like it was almost like, you know, when you cook chicken and like the crispy part of it gets hardened, like the outer layer of the fat gets hardened. Chewy. And if you, for whatever reason, like left it overnight, it just gets hardened. That's what I would describe as rattlesnake. Mm-hmm. But the caviar, that was just wild for me. Like I went through so many emotions and I was like,
Describe to them how it was when you had caviar for the first time.
Well, I always knew that, okay, this is fish eggs. Obviously, it's going to be fishy. But because of Gordon Ramsay and that video where they literally cut open the fish and they scoop it out, they haven't even rinsed it or added salt to it or anything. Like they just scoop it out. He puts it on his palm and he just licks it. And he's like, it's amazing. It's the
flavor,
the
texture,
you know. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I wonder what it tastes like,
mouth
you know.
Feel.
And so when we got the chance to do it, and then you know you were recording me, so I was also being conscious of my reaction because I didn't want to like gag,
spit it out or something.
But that's all I wanted to do. Like I genuinely wanted to spit it out because it felt like I had a goldfish, and the only reason why it felt like I had a goldfish because it's like I've never had a goldfish in my mouth, but I used to kill fish. And so I knew what that smell was like.
Dead fish?
No, because, okay.
Killed fish?
Quick story. So I had a tendency when I was young of pulling out my 10 cents goldfishes from Walmart out of the tank, putting them on the piano and going. And I would like, I don't know why I would do that. And I would squish them and then I would throw them back into the tank to see what would happen.
That's a lot of documentaries about serial killers.
And so that smell that would stay on my hand or like back on the tank, this fishy smell is what I could relate with when it was in my mouth. So it was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. And it was gnarly. So that's what I would say is the weirdest thing I've ever ate. What about, or the strangest thing? You've eaten a lot of strange things.
I've eaten a lot of stuff. I've had escargot, which was snails. I've had a variety of meats from
You've had
sheep,
bison, elk,
quail, which was more of a chicken type of bird. So I don't know why I said chicken.
You've had
it's not even chicken. I've had octopus. I've had.
Have you had oysters?
I've had oysters. I had some really good ones in Mexico when we went to Ensenada. The cheese with like, what was it? Chives.
You had, you did have oysters.
On an oyster.
And
they were bomb.
Yeah, it had cheese.
Yeah, they were like grilled ones. They were really good. I think probably I've had obviously.
Have you had a cricket?
I've had crickets. I've eaten a scorpion before. Yeah, just a variety of things. Obviously,
You've eaten the
caviar
tongue of
an animal. Yes. I think probably the craziest one or the strangest one would be escargot, because the snails were just weird. I didn't like them. I did not like them.
I have a question.
The rattlesnake was good.
When people say tacos de cabeza, is it the top part of the animal or is it the brain? Because I've eaten tacos de cabeza, which in the literal translation is tacos of head, in a sense.
Right. That's a question that I asked someone. I don't know
if we ate brain.
I think I asked Alex, and he explained it to me, and then I was amazed too, because I thought it was like, I don't know, like a thin layer of meat that was on the head, but I think it might be maybe that, but I'm not sure. That's a Google question.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know, but the weirdest one or the strangest one is probably going to be escargot, snails. Cooked.
Did you enjoy it?
I didn't. I think that's why. Because the rattlesnake, it was chewy, ate it. Same thing with the caviar, tasted it, fishy, but
on its own, not with all the stuff that you put on it. On its own, did you enjoy it?
On its own, it honestly tastes like, for those who don't know, it tastes like you got a couple omega-3 vitamin oil, the fish oil pellets, and just chewed on them.
Yeah.
And they were just a little bit cold, like if you pulled them out of the fridge or something.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
And it's like very, very fishy by itself. But with all the chives and everything else, it actually was pretty good. Oh, sorry. Doing that twice.
Weird foods. That's why now I don't like you. He loves watching these kinds of like stuff on YouTube. What's that YouTuber that you like to watch?
Everybody's got to check him out. His name is Sony, but the name of the YouTube channel is the World's Best Food Reviews.
Yes.
He's got two different channels, and one of them is more personal, and the other one is more like for everybody. And he travels around the world, tries some of the weirdest foods out there. There's one where he's eating, or they're prepping a camel, which I've never eaten a camel, which I kind of want to try.
I used to think that inside the hump of a camel was water until I watched his YouTube video, and I was like, "What? It's fat."
It's just layers of fat on like a double humped camel. They literally skin it, then cut it, then cut the meat, and it's not even meat, it's just fat, and then they grill it, and then they use it for like cooking oil.
So, based off of that show, like because of Gordon Ramsay's reaction to the caviar, I don't trust anyone anymore when they say, "Oh, this is amazing." Okay, the next one is, what's the... It's the same thing. What? Okay. I know what I'm...
Change it up if you...
It says, what's the grossest thing you've ever eaten?
Maybe we can change it. What's the grossest thing you've ever done? I'm trying to think what's...
The grossest thing I've ever done?
I guess.
Unfortunately, like gone to the restroom on the side of the road. Now, to give context, because no, I don't just do that on the city or anything. We were
in the middle of nowhere.
We were in the middle of nowhere.
Like hours away from any bathroom.
We were on a honeymoon. We were hours away from the next town, really. We were somewhere I want to say Nevada.
We're somewhere, no.
Or Arizona.
It was Nevada or Arizona. I can't even remember where we're at. But desert everywhere.
It's like... And
we've been driving for like an hour and a half. Haven't seen a gas station. We're starting to need gas. And she's like, scary. I need to go to the bathroom.
The road was like never ending. And probably the closest car to us was probably like 15, 20 minutes away. Like that's how long the road was, but also how like if you just sat there and waited for the next car to come, it was just crazy. And probably that. But
let's see, for me, the grossest thing I've ever done.
You're weird. You don't...
I mean, I'm a plumber, so most of the times I'm like, I've gone into like compost stations and dealt with like crazy animals, gone underneath houses, full body suit.
I'm going to switch it.
Dealt with dead rats.
What is like, what? Okay. So what was the grossest thing you ever ate at someone's house that you had to pretend was delicious. And I know
I don't want to burn someone out, so I won't say any names. But there was this.
my cooking.
No. There was this, and you were there too. So I'm sorry if you find out who this is, but there was this like fettuccine jalapeno.
What? I love that.
You loved it?
I loved that.
I was like, I don't know what's with this. It literally tasted
but by
like.
the way, that's the grossest thing I've ever done.
Huh?
Because, initially it was like, what's the grossest thing you've ever done? Uh-huh. And because you said that, it triggered a memory of what happened earlier that day. And that's the grossest thing I've ever done. Oh, my
goodness. Yeah. No, that's a different story in itself. But no, it literally tasted
story about
like.
Love.
Yeah. It literally tasted like if they made fettuccine Alfredo with chicken, and then they just got like the juice of like a big brand new can of jalapenos. I don't know why I said jalapenos. And they opened it up and just went all over it, and then just kind of stirred it a little bit and let it sit. So you have like juices of like jalapeno in your fettuccine Alfredo sauce, which is like,
I'm so surprised.
What am I eating? Like, this is supposed to be creamy and cheesy and good.
I
and
asked for the recipe. I genuinely wanted to recreate it. It was a little too spicy for my liking, but I thought it was bomb.
It was potent. That's what it was. It wasn't even like.
So, because
it just tasted tangy.
Did you ask for seconds?
No.
Oh, that's probably the sign. If you don't ask for seconds, you don't like it.
Yeah. If I ever go to anybody's house and I ask for seconds, know that your food is delicious.
The grossest thing I ever ate was my grandma's orange lentejas. This was years ago. Lentejas. It was orange, and it was. I love my grandma, but it was so bad.
Is it supposed to be orange?
I think it was a type of style that you could cook it or something along those lines. I don't know.
I mean, last time I checked, there is no such thing as orange lenteja.
I don't know. I just remember that it was orange, and it was horrible. It was horrible that I literally looked at my mom like, I cannot eat this. And she looked at me kind of like, you're going to eat it. And I tried. I genuinely tried. And I literally couldn't. And so I literally just scooched it over to my mom like as best as I could when my grandma wasn't looking. She couldn't eat it. Like, that's how bad it was. She was just kind of like, and I ran away. I was just like, I'm going to go to the living room or something and just be like, thank you, Grandma. It was so good. But like, it was not good. That's probably the worst thing I've ever eaten.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
What?
If you were at someone's house and they had cats.
Okay.
Okay. Or dogs for that matter, or pets for that matter, but they ran loose in the house. And you know this because you see little clumps of hair every now and then, or you sit somewhere and there's like hair. So you know there's hair in the house. And somehow, some way you drop your chicken, your drumstick.
No.
You drop your chicken.
I give it to the dog or the cat or.
You drop your chicken.
Their children.
And on your way to reach it so you can go throw it away, the hostess picks it up, gets a napkin, cleans it a little bit, and puts it back on your plate.
Those are dirty people.
Do you eat or do you throw it away?
I walk away.
What's your reaction?
I run towards the car.
No, let's just say these are people.
I give you the signal, let's go.
These are people
it's time for me to
that are
go
genuinely
home.
like, oh, no pasa nada. It's fine.
Oh, no.
What's your reaction? Aquí está, mijo. Está bien. No le pasa nada.
I'd even question whatever else is in the kitchen at this point. No,
but would you have the valor people. And the courage to say, no, I'm not going to eat this?
I think maybe if it was like, oh, wait, are they related to me or not?
I would say in this situation,
maybe not even then. Like,
they're not related to you.
Do I hold them in high regards?
Yes.
Maybe I pretend like to smash it up or like eat the rest of the stuff around it. Not the actual chicken, but like the, I don't know, mashed potatoes or whatever else. You
low-key grab it and then like you put it in your pocket.
I start giving it to, I put it in my pocket, go to the bathroom, flush that thing down the toilet or something. No, I would not eat that. That is disturbing. Look, we have a dog. I was going to say dogs. We have a dog. We have dog. Well, it is a dog.
We have a dog.
We have one dog. And we don't even let that dog come past the part, like it's got a small section of the second floor that it cannot pass. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason for that.
Sometimes we let her loose. But she's not allowed to, like, for example, be in our room.
She can't come upstairs to the third floor.
Because I'm allergic, which is probably
kind of weird, like, crazy that we have a
dog. But
it's also because as much as I'm a dog person, I'm not a dog person.
You're not a dog person.
I don't like when the dogs are on the couch, on the sofa. Heck no, I'm not going to let them sleep on my bed. Unless they're like hypoallergenic.
If she was hypoallergenic,
that's different.
That'd be different.
That's different because I've seen dogs that are really good dogs that people let them on the sofa, on the bed, they sleep with them. Shed. It's like those dogs I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with if they sleep on your bed. We had a dog one time that was hyperallergenic, and it's mainly I think
still allergic to her.
You were still allergic to her, but I think it's easier when they're hyperallergenic because of the fact that they do not shed. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the shedding part is what causes the most problems. Mm-hmm. So if our dog was hyperallergenic, maybe she'd have more privileges, but ultimately I'd be like, okay, she's not coming up, still not to the third floor.
Yeah.
So for the most part, like, yeah, there's a reason. Yeah.
But because of her, I am very self-conscious. Like when people come over, I'm very like, I don't want them
they're dirty
to be like, oh my God, there's clumps of hair everywhere. And so I've always thought about that story of like, what would I do in this situation? Would I call it out? Would I just not say anything? Would I continue to eat? I think I would very politely say, oh, thank you, but do you mind if I get something else? Because this one fell in and I don't want to.
I feel bad sometimes. Here, this is how bad I feel about it. I feel bad giving some people a cup of water when there's a little water stain on it.
Yeah.
That's how bad I feel. Like,
yeah,
I feel
no
like,
te da pena.
Oh
You're just
goodness,
like, oh my gosh.
What kind of animal am I? Like, why am I giving them this? That's why every single time when we wash our things, I try to dry them right away so that we don't get those water stains.
Yeah.
Now, you can't prevent it all the time, but either way, I just like sometimes like, I forgot who it was that they're like, oh yeah, can I have just a cup of water with ice? And I was like,
and then the panic.
I got it. I'm like, I mean, it was clean, but it was like, there's a stain. And I'm like, nope, putting that one over there. It's going to get washed again. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So
okay. Next icebreaker.
What is your favorite type of cheese? That's interesting.
Ooh.
Gouda.
Brie.
No. Provolone.
Provolone.
American. Swiss.
Jack.
Swiss.
Oaxaca, cotija, fresco.
Cheeses are good. Cheddar.
Panela.
What's a Jack?
I'm going to be between. Okay. So I really enjoy Colby Jack. For sandwiches, for quesadillas, blue cheese. Yeah, that's another one.
I like said it, but I was like not trying to interrupt you, and I was like, blue cheese.
I do really enjoy Colby Jack, but funny enough, I also really enjoy cotija, because cotija for me it's cotija? Like it's a Mexican Parmesan basically, which Parmesan is a cheese too.
Yeah, is that the stinky cheese? Which one's the stinky cheese? The Mexican stinky cheese. Cotija.
Yeah.
Okay, that one's good where you're eating like a traditional Mexican breakfast.
It's just I feel like I associate the cotija cheese with flautas, enchiladas, tacos dorados, sopes, and because I know that it's like you put the sour cream and you put the salsa and then you sprinkle that cotija cheese. I think that's why I feel like it's amazing. But
see, for the longest time, I didn't like that type of cheese. But then my parents eventually started getting me into that type of cheese because they would be like, okay, on top of your beans, you throw some of that on top of like flautas, any Mexican dish. You get some eggs with pepper and salt and you throw a little bit of that cheese on there.
Chilaquiles.
Enchiladas. There's a lot of dishes, a lot of Mexican dishes that you could throw that type of cheese on it. And it's not like a regular cheese where it's like you can melt it. Like most of the time you throw it on there, it's going to stay solid. It's not going to melt into it.
There's actually a cheese that one of our friends brought from
Mexico.
No. When we had our Friendsgiving, it was like a cheese that had blueberries in it or some kind of. It was like a Greek cheese. Do you remember? That with the crackers was just, oh, my mouth's just salivated.
It's like a dip, but not like a dip. It was like it's like sour creamy almost.
Yes.
But it wasn't. It was like still technically like a melted cheese or something like that.
I have to ask her what it was because that was delicious.
That was.
I guess a better question would be, what cheese don't you like? Because I love cheese.
Okay, if you had to pick two
that I don't,
or
like.
At least three that you like,
brie and blue cheese.
Okay, I would probably go with blue cheese and Swiss.
Swiss. Because it's boring.
It's the original cheese.
What do you mean?
When you think of cheese, what do you think? Like if I told you describe cheese, what does cheese look like to you?
American.
What does cheese look like to you? Not just American. That's not a description.
Okay. Like
if I said
to me, if I think of
cheese.
cheese, I think of the mouse and it's yellow. So cheddar cheese.
Yellow, but what does it have inside of it?
The holes.
The holes.
Yeah, I guess.
Swiss cheese has the holes.
I think Swiss is boring.
Your face is boring.
So I don't particularly like Swiss. You just said that Swiss cheese is not one of your favorites.
I just said blue cheese and Swiss cheese are my favorite.
Oh, they're your favorite.
Yes.
I thought they were your not. Oh, okay, so what are the cheeses you don't like? Because I said the ones that I don't like is brie cheese and blue cheese. So the one I dislike is one of your favorites. You like blue cheese?
I was not a big fan because I was like, it's just rotten cheese.
I mean, technically.
But I've had it with burgers. Oh, blue cheese burgers. It sounds weird, but I think it's the tanginess.
It's too bitter for me.
I like bitter things.
You do like bitter things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to bust a joke right now.
It's bitter. Your face is bitter. Okay, then my top. Yeah.
Just top two.
And Colby Jack.
Colby Jack. Okay. That's good. All right, go.
Deep. Have you ever been in close proximity to a dangerous wild animal? Which one and where?
Stella.
We are always in close proximity to a dangerous animal. That is true.
That animal has tried to push you down the stairs too many times.
It's so funny. When we get home, she's at the top of the stairs and she's just looking at us like this. And like sometimes she gets like this, like she's getting close and you're just like, she's just waiting to kill us. Like it's going to happen one day.
Yeah.
I feel like this is something that you've actually experienced.
I've held a snake. I've held a baby bear cub.
You've held a baby bear
Yeah,
cub?
and it scratched me and I was bleeding. And I was probably like maybe younger than Jonah.
Were you in the zoo or something? Where did you hold a baby bear?
I don't know. My parents took me somewhere and I was holding a snake and I held the snake and then I held the bear and then they're like, oh my goodness, give me back the bear. And they took the bear from me and they're like, you're bleeding. And I guess the bear like just kind of like went like that when I was holding him, but from his bottom foot.
And that's why
and
you
literally
look like
just
a bear?
scratched me and Are you done? Are you done? Are you done?
Are you done?
Are you done?
No, I'm sorry. So it scratched you. That's crazy. Did you cry?
No. I didn't even know I was bleeding until they told me. Then I had like blood on my shirt or like my pants. And I was like, what the heck? And then they gave me like a Band-Aid and everything. But yeah.
I don't know why this is funny to me. The idea of you getting scratched by a bear.
I got chased by a llama once.
It is?
I got chased by a llama once.
You're such a liar.
Not lying.
When?
In Mexico, in Tijuana, when I was younger.
You got chased by a llama.
We would mess with this llama that would live on one of my Theo's properties, and we would always chase it. And one time we cornered it. This was me and my one of my other younger cousins that we were out there, and we're like, let's go mess with the llama. So we're like, all right, we know where it's at. So we start chasing after this llama, and it starts to notice like, oh man, these kids are back. So it starts running away. But we corner it because he gets on one side, I get on one side. There's like cars and other stuff there around the property. And then he gets pissed off. So what does this llama do? Probably like spits and then starts chasing after us. It literally starts chasing after and we just get freaked out like, oh my goodness, like this llama is now like lethal. So we started running from the llama.
The most dangerous animal that I have been in close proximity towards are two. A chicken and a chihuahua. The chicken was at your parents' house.
That chicken did not like you.
It did not like me, and I didn't do anything to it. I was just walking around, and it would come and chase me. So it was scary. And then the second one was the Chihuahua when I was younger that started chasing me, whose name was Tequila. Because I will forever have that registered in my mind that I was running for dear life on the way to my house. I just heard, "Hey, Tequila, get back in here." And I just like saw the Chihuahua like go back. That was like, I don't think I've ever screamed like I've screamed. And that's embarrassing because can you imagine, like, you just see this girl like screaming for her life and this tiny little dog like coming after her. So yeah, that's probably the closest I've been to danger with animals. And Stella every single day.
All right, next one. Do you have or would you get any piercings on your body? I think that one's an easy no.
No, but I did grow up wanting to get my ears pierced. I thought it'd be cool to have hoop earrings because I thought with my curly hair and my hoop earrings it'd look, I don't know, cool. But no, I don't think I would ever. You know, I mean, what if what I was about to say was like, oh my God, all my life I've always wanted to get my nose pierced. Just a big straight through.
Oh, not even like up
no,
here.
not even
like,
just here, like
the
straight
part.
through. Oh my God, I knew. I worked with someone who had the dimples.
But there were gauges.
The ones in the eyebrows, the snake bites.
Oh, okay.
I knew someone that had in college a piercing right on their chest, which I always like. I never knew what the point of that one was. And obviously,
have you heard of the dermals? I think they're called dermals.
Dermals, what is that?
Yeah, it's like an inner piercing type of. I don't know the exact thing of it, but it's like. It's like.
It's on your fist.
No, I'm trying to think like how it even.
Because you
it's because
your head.
I think it's like underneath the skin, where it looks like there's something underneath your skin.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you've seen it where like people get like things and it looks like something's bulging out.
Oh yeah, like, people have gotten piercings like in their.
No, not like hands. On their hands, but like it's like an actual thing bulging out. Like if there's something underneath your skin. I think that's what dermal is. Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to get? I know boys obviously have gotten their ears pierced or their eyebrows or anything. Never.
No, I've had like friends that've gotten like the ear piercings or the eyebrow piercings or the snake bites back in the day. But
did you ever go through like a tattoo phase where you wanted tattoos?
Yeah, but at the end it was like there were dumb ideas, so it was never like, okay, you got to remember this is gonna be on your body. Mom. Yeah. It's going to be on your body for the rest of your life. You really want to get this? It's like, I'm going to get over it in like 2 weeks.
Right.
So, yeah.
Piercings
and tattoos.
Next
one.
What is the best Halloween costume you've ever worn?
A banana.
I've never worn a Halloween costume. Ever.
You know what's weird? I've never worn one either. I'm just saying the banana because we did a podcast with everybody wearing bananas.
Well, obviously maybe I shouldn't say obviously. My family didn't celebrate Halloween because it was for the devil. That's how I grew up. And so I never participated in the Halloween parades. Growing up, I do remember like at the beginning it was like easy. And then the older that I got, it was just kind of like, like I don't really care. But I've dressed up before. So probably my best dress up was when I painted my whole body green to try to be Gamora for my nephew's birthday, which was Guardians of Galaxy themed. The paint I wore was not meant for your skin. So I had patches of skin just that coming off green? Because that were skin.
Oh.
So I looked like a zombie because it was just like I had green in some parts and skin in other parts because it was just fading out. It was fading. I dressed up as a lot of Bible characters growing up, but other than that, I would love to have a costume party.
That'd be kind of cool.
Like we should to throw go one. All out. We need to throw one.
We'll throw one in like July.
Something random like that. Something random. But it has to be like legit, like the most.
You can't come to my house unless you have that costume on.
I like that. You know how people have like.
We should do something crazy like 1980s.
Like
you have to be like a president.
No, I'm just saying because you know how there's some people
come in as like JFK or Nixon.
They celebrate their
Senior,
Christmas,
not junior.
You know, some people celebrate halfway Christmas.
Reagan.
Nah,
I'd be a good Reagan.
You FDR? Would not be. You would be an FDR. You could be a.
I could be.
You could be Theodore. Lincoln. You could be Abe Lincoln. You could be Theodore Roosevelt. Ooh, no, I'm just saying, like, we need to come up with our own party because you know how some people celebrate halfway Christmas, which is like somewhere in July. But our friends do that, and they celebrate halfway Christmas. We need to have our own thing in July, like a costume party.
Costume party in July, but you have to be a president.
What is it with you and presidents? No, it could be anything. It could be like. First it just ladies? Has to be creative. Jeez. Next question. Are you done?
I'm down for that though. We should definitely plan it. That'd be awesome to be able to do like.
I'm gonna send out a text today.
Send it out. We'll do it. We'll create a.
But we need a theme.
Themed costume party, but it can't be something basic like the 1920s. It's got to be something specific.
Do you know we're watching
a child from a president? Wasn't
the show that we're watching from the 1920s? No, it's 1950s. 1950s. It's Marvelous Maisel.
It's a good show. What about like?
There's so many things you could dress up as. But I would love. I want to do it with like everything, like wigs and outfit and
you want to go all out?
Everything.
I'm down for that.
But I'm also I'm down to be like a milk carton. Also, like. But you have to go all out and make yourself an almond milk.
Remember the outlet and the plug?
Yes.
That one was awesome.
Like, dude, I would even be like el elotero. Like, if you go all out and you attach like stuff to it, oh my God. And we could have prizes.
Like your favorite childhood character.
Anything.
Cartoon character.
Oh, dude.
Barney.
It would be Zack and Cody.
Zack and Cody. Something Disney related.
Hannah Montana and Raven.
Hannah Montana. We're going to do it. All right, let's get deep. What was the best art project you ever made?
A rainbow. No, I'm serious. Because related to Halloween, I remember they gave everyone brujas. They gave everyone a witches. And I was all like, I'm not allowed to celebrate Halloween, or I can't celebrate Halloween. Can I draw something else? And then they were like, yeah. And so I was like, I'm going to draw the promises of God. So I still remember I made like the layers of all the colors.
All the colors.
And then with a glue stick, I put glue all over. And then I just.
How old were you?
Glitter. I was probably like 8.
Oh, okay.
But like,
this is in high school.
The best art project is just whatever I've done at the Painted Cabernet. Like this art, it's like this art studio that you.
I added stuff when I did that.
No, the best art thing I've ever did, which was actually a project, was I created a rocket ship out of Quaker's Oats oatmeal, like the cylinder.
Oh, okay.
I made it. A like rocket ship.
Ship?
Yeah. So, yeah. I would say that's the best art.
I'm trying to think. I know I got an award one time when I was in 6th grade.
An award?
Yeah. For having, like, the best drawn. It's going to be funny. It was just a bunch of balls.
What do you mean? What did you draw?
But it was like...
Oh, like the depth?
Like, yeah, depth and perception.
Okay.
With light blue, and, like, darker blue, and the white, shading.
Oh.
So it was really like, it was basic, like just small balls into big balls and then like lines. But it was like the symmetry with it was perfect. The shading was perfect and like the depth was perfect.
This was in high school?
This was like 6th grade.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I remember my art teacher was like,
it's amazing.
This is amazing. I'm like, I used a ruler?
You don't have the image anymore?
No. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can look something up that's similar to it, but I don't have that image.
That's pretty cool that you got an award. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, they even kept it. Like, they kept it up, and they're like, oh, it looks great.
It's like what you see at the county fair where they have all the art projects from the kids.
Yeah. But then they eventually gave it back to me, and I remember I took it home somewhere, and, like, someone dropped water on it, and it just got ruined. So I was like,
Did your family ever
Trash.
post your like work on their fridge?
No, they believed that I wasn't worthy for their fridge. They believed that the gas bill was more important.
Hey, the gas bill. I get it now.
Yeah.
Let's go deeper. Use 3 adjectives to describe.
I don't like
family.
English.
Describe your family.
Adjectives?
Yes.
What's an adjective? It's a description of a. No, that's an adverb. A description of a noun.
Yes. No. I don't use those words. Adjectives. Okay, so verbs, nouns, adjectives. I know what they mean, but I can't explain it. An adjective is like beautiful, kind, amazing. Like it's a description of this.
Of a noun. That's what I just said.
What's a noun?
A person, place, or thing.
Okay, that's what it is. And the verb is the jumping, right?
Oh.
It's the moving.
Is a physical motion.
What's an adverb?
A description of a physical movement. Faster.
Oh.
He was running fast.
I know how to speak English,
faster.
but I can't explain it.
Watch, I'm completely wrong. I'm completely.
I don't know.
No, but a noun is a person, place, or
verb,
thing.
Adverb. That makes
adverb,
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a noun is just a
so yes, describe a noun.
Read it again.
The noun is the family. Use 3 adjectives to describe your family.
My family. Okay.
And then we're going to do it to each other. So you're going to use 3 words to describe your family, and then I'm going to use 3 words to describe your family, and then you're going to do mine, and I'm going to do mine.
Okay. Tank. Oh, that's kind of hard to describe. Well, using adjectives.
Yeah.
Is crazy one?
Yes.
Okay, so crazy.
Crazy tanks.
No, not tanks. That's what you think.
No, that's not. I already have my 3.
Okay, give me your 3.
Loud.
Wow,
Think of all of our conversations.
Yeah,
they know this.
That's true.
And then humorous or funny. Yeah. There's a lot of humor on there. And then
you said you had 3.
I did have 3, but yours threw me off. So loud, funny.
Tanks.
Loud, funny, and
gluttons. Diabetic.
Talkative, just talkative. Your family isn't quiet. Like we don't just sit and
they don't ever
talk.
Shut up.
And no, maybe not even that. What's a word for like I'm down?
I'm down.
That's basically who they are. They're loud, they're funny, and they're down. Like, oh, we're gonna go out and do this. All right, what time is it? 8:00. We're still gonna go.
All right.
That's what.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of like open. I was gonna say open-minded, but that's not even really a description.
They're just available.
Like available, humorous, crazy. Because
I think loud rather than crazy. Because loud can be good and it's
okay, yeah, then yeah. What about for your family?
I think for my family, I would say sweet.
Homebody.
And
yeah, I'd say sweet as well. Or
cautious.
Like
cautious, sweet, or nice. Because my family,
I was gonna say nice.
My family is nice. Like
kind.
They're very kind. They're very like, "Hi, cómo estás, mijan?" Yeah. You know, they're very like kind. Sweet people. But they're also very like, we don't really want to go out. We don't really want to do much.
That's why I went with homebody.
Home, you know. And then, but they're also very cautious. Like, "Ay, mija, ponte tu chaqueta, eh? Oh, be careful for this or be careful for that," you know. And they're very like protective in that sense.
Yeah, I'd probably say cautious, homebody, and kind. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a good description of your family.
Oh, you.
Say or guess everyone's birthdays. Well,
October 27, 1994.
What about your own?
Really? You can't say my birthday?
October 16th, 1995.
When was Stella born? October 27th.
I know it was about my birthday, but I don't know. 2020?
Mm-hmm.
Was she born in 2020? When did we get it? December?
No, we got her.
She stole my birthday.
No, we got her in January.
My dog has the same birthday as me.
She was born on his birthday. We got her 2 days after New Year's, and she was born in October after she was weaned. So
yeah, that's true.
That's the birthdays. That's deeper.
I know. I think it's supposed to be like a group of people that you're supposed to be like, oh, these are all your friends, so you're supposed to answer them.
What is the worst argument you've ever been in? Right here.
I don't even want to get into it. I don't know. The worst argument you've ever... road rage. I got out of my car one time. I was about to fight the guy. And it was only because... So, I'll describe it. I was driving early in the morning, trying to get to work. I'm driving up the street. There's normally no one up around this time. It's like early. Like 5 something, almost 6 o'clock. Let's just say it's 6 o'clock. 6 in the morning. Driving up to the stop sign where normally I just hit the stop sign, look both ways, and keep going because there's normally nobody out there. Drive up, there's this car right there. I come up to it, and I'm like, okay. They're still there. And I could see from the back of the window, they're on their phone. So I'm like, okay. Drive up a little bit more. Have my lights on. This person's not doing anything. So I honk. Nothing. Then, boom, emergency lights come on. I'm like, oh, okay. Whoop. Sweep around them and go past the stop sign. They speed up and come at me. Once we get to the light, I'm gonna turn left. They got on the lane that's gonna turn or go straight, not the one that's turning left. I'm turning left. They come up to it, and I just like kind of like looked over because they were like kind of like trying to flash me down. And you could tell that they're just they're like cussing me out.
Wow.
Like full force. Their window's not even down. Mine's not even down. And I'm just kind of like, what the heck? So I start making the turn, and I'm thinking these people are going to go straight. Make the turn. They start making the turn. They almost hit me. And I'm like, I'm not going to have this today. So instantly I pull over, park my car, and I get out. And I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you? La, la, la. And I go off on the dude. He gets out. He's like, just screaming at me. He's by himself. He's like this 20-some-year-old dude. At the time, I was like 20-some too. So I was just kind of... But this guy is like short. He's smaller. He's just like, dude, if we get in a fight right now, you're going to lose. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, I don't think you were expecting me to be this big when I came out of the car. And I had my knife too. Oh my gosh. Because I always carry my knife with me. So I was there, and I was just like, you know what? Screw this dude. Like, I'm not even going to, like, bother with him. He's just going to ruin my day. And it's early in the morning. It's probably like 6:10 now. 6:10.
6:10.
Sorry. 6:10 or like 6:07 or something like that, because it was literally early in the morning. So I'm just like, I'm done with this. Get in the car. And he's still, like, screaming. He's, like, going off on me. And I'm already, like, driving away already. Like, this guy's still out there in front of like his car yelling. And then like instantly I'm thinking like, dude, I just got into this big argument with this dude, and it wasn't my fault, but at the same time it's like I can tell that he's gonna hold on to that for like the next 4 weeks because of the way he was going off on me. Maybe he was having a bad day. Can't blame the dude. It was early in the morning. He's already having a bad day. Or maybe he had a bad night, didn't sleep enough. But still, like, he let whatever happened affect him in that way to the point where he just kind of blew up on a random person that was just trying to get to work.
I think it's scary in those situations because you never know what the other person, might have.
Like a weapon.
I've seen so many memes
like a knife,
like not just a knife, but I've seen like memes where the guy is like on the side and they have their window down and he's, yelling and yelling. and the guy just like pulls his gun like he's gonna shoot, and then the car just goes back, like kind of like, oh, I'm not gonna do anything. And so it's really scary because, you know, you could provoke someone to do something that, you know, you're not even prepared to face, you know?
Yeah.
I think for me, the worst argument that I've ever had, I've never had arguments with anyone that weren't close to me. So that's probably one. So anything that I've ever had, like that involved like yelling or anything, like that's another thing. I've never yelled at someone that was in my blood or, you know, like.
So family members.
Only family members. I don't think I've ever yelled at a friend or a best friend. Like that's not me. I've been upset. I've probably been petty or something, but I've never yelled. Nothing. I honestly, like, I've never left the house because my mom, she was big on that. Like, she never like was like, you're never gonna leave the house because you're upset. You know, you're never gonna walk out because algo te puede pasar or something could happen to you. You could get, you know, killed or whatever. So that's never happened to me.
Right.
I don't know why, but all I can think of right now is the day before my wedding, I had a huge argument with my sister. And I think it wasn't really so much...
Oh, I think I know. Like, it was out of everyone's control.
No, it wasn't even because of the pandemic. It was because... So I wanted to take a picture with my photographer of my dress, of me looking at a mirror, and you get a certain angle of the dress. Right. I wanted this image. And we had a huge mirror, which I had purchased for the house, that was in the living room. And I had asked my sister, can I take the mirror down so that I can take my picture tomorrow that the photographer gets here? And she was like, no. And I was like, but I bought the mirror. Like, I was doing you a courtesy, asking you if, you know, we could do this. And she was like, no, it's going to be a lot of work to bring it down. And then, you know, I can't do it myself. And I was like, it's fine. I was asking you if you could ask like Fernie or whatever. And she was like, no. And I was like, and I got so mad. I got so mad that she wouldn't let me use the mirror. So it's fine. So I texted my bridesmaids that night and I was like, hey, by any chance, does someone have like, you know, a mirror that I could borrow because I want to take this photo, you know, blah, blah. And as they were like, I was waiting for their responses, she got mad because she was like, why are you asking people, like, why are you being inconvenienced?
Part of the group chat?
No, I was telling my mom about it. And so she heard. So she's like, why are you being an inconvenience to people when we have a mirror here? So I was like, you don't let me use the mirror. Like, are you kidding me right now? And she was just kind of like, well, if you really wanted it, like, we would have obviously done it.
Right.
And so we just got into this argument of like, you know, like we just started fighting. Like it got so elevated that like I was yelling and I was upset. I slammed the door. But honestly, it was a lot of emotions because up until that point, my sister hadn't been emotional about me leaving and about me getting married. And I was dealing with a lot of emotions of like, I'm never going to be here anymore. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm going to come and visit and stuff, but like, I'm leaving. Like, today is the last day. There's a scene, a show that we like to watch called Boy Meets World. Mm. And there's a scene where Corey and Sean, the best friends, have a fight on the day of his wedding. And they're hashing it out. And he's literally telling him like, you know, we have to talk about it. He's like, I don't want to talk about it. He's like, things are going to change. And so that's literally what happened. Like we made an argument out of something so insignificant, but it was a surface problem over what was really happening underneath. And
right.
Eventually, you know, we talked it out and we cried and it's just like, we have to face the reality, you know, you're leaving, you know, things are changing, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up getting my mirror photo or whatever. But I would say that's the biggest argument that we've ever had, which, yeah.
Yeah, it could be a pretty big one.
The biggest thing. Yeah.
I mean, leaving family and all.
Yeah, usually I feel like for me to get to a point like that, it has to be something that like, is big, happening underneath, or it was like a really big thing or something like that. Yeah. Last one.
Is there anything or anyone holding you back from your personal growth or authentic self? Ooh, definitely not my wife.
I don't think anybody's holding me back.
I don't think so either.
I think the only thing that could potentially be holding me back is a negative mindset. I think that I have a habit of getting ahead of myself and worrying or stressing or being negative about something that hasn't even happened. And so I'll already start to be like, well, this could happen and that could happen. And what if it doesn't work out? Or what if I'm not good enough? Or what if this doesn't, work out for me? And it's like it hasn't even happened. And I think that mindset is what keeps me from moving forward a lot of the times, because a lot of it is just fear.
Right.
It's just fear of what if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't happen? And I think, Rich said in one of your guys' podcasts once, he's like, what would you do if fear wasn't a factor? And it's true. A lot of the time fear for me is what prevents me from moving forward. And so I would say that tends to hold me back. But it is a goal of mine this year that I've been working on. What about you?
I think, fear too, because fear, it's something that no matter what, you can't really master it completely. I think we both have grown like much, but it's something that's always going to be somewhat there in the long run. And eventually, I think we can both overcome it or deal with whatever fears might come up, because later on in the future, it'll be different types of fears. But fear stops a lot of people from chasing their dreams, even deciding to ask that one person to go out with them, to pursue a relationship, to pursue a job, pursue a dream, pursue a goal, pursue anything. So there's a lot of things that can be possible just by taking the first step. And I think the way that Rich said it was good too, because he said, like, what possibilities, like, just imagine what possibilities could happen if fear was not there at all. No worrying about everything. Like, you're aware of danger, yes, but fear is another thing in itself. Danger is real. Fear is smoke, shadows that haven't happened yet, of predictions of things that haven't happened yet. It's the best way to describe it. Just smoke and shadows of things that haven't happened yet.
Yeah. On the flip side, though, who or what in your life currently is what's allowed you to move forward or allowed you to be the person that you are today?
I think you've allowed me to continue my passions and my dreams, and be able to chase my dreams, and become successful and see the progress. I know you like that word, the progress.
I was making fun of him for it.
Yeah. In everything that we do, because we actually see the difference visually.
Yeah.
And I think that even helps us even more, keeps us motivated to pursue it on, like, further from that point on. Kind of like the podcast in itself. It's been doing great, and I hope to continue doing great and even better as we go. And same thing with your podcast. It's growing. You're on Spotify now. You're on YouTube and Spotify. You changed the name. You have the Instagram up and running now.
Yeah.
We're on Instagram as well. So
I think that the saying of, like, you're your own worst critic, I think when you get married, you have like a secondary critic per se, but you also have a secondary person to push you and fan. Yeah. Because as much as, like, I'm the first person that sees, areas that you could improve, I'm also the first person that gets a front row seat to be like, you're a different person now. You're not the person that I married, almost 3 years ago. You're only this and you're only that more than what you were yesterday. And so I feel like for me too, our marriage and my relationship with you and our friendship, all of it has made me stronger, has made me more willing to try things new. I mean, I've always mentioned this, like prior to you, I hadn't seen the world. You're my Aladdin. Like you've literally taken me places I never thought I would go. You've pushed me to do things I never thought I would do. And so I know that like a pastor's always like been like, the way you evaluate your marriage is, since I've been with this person, am I better? Since I've been with this person, am I closer to God? Is my whole life situation, my finances, my mental health, everything, is it better? And since we've been married, it's yes on all ends. And it's like that saying, like iron sharpens iron. And yeah, so.
It's a good way to describe it, yeah. Because iron does sharpen iron, and if you're in a good relationship like the way we are, we just make each other better.
Yes. Alrighty, guys.
Alrighty. Well, like I said, go check out, like and subscribe our channel, UNFC, and go and check out her Instagram, Relate to You, as well as her YouTube channel. Subscribe to it, like it. Check out the new videos that they released. I think they released one last Monday.
Yes.
And then check them out on Spotify. If you guys don't enjoy going on YouTube, check it out on Spotify. You guys can just play it, work out, go for a run, listen to them.
Yes. Alrighty, guys.
Alrighty, guys.
See you next time.
Have a good one.